Hello, hello, this is Brandon from the Spinsterz, and we are live on Facebook. This is day one of our 30-day Circus challenge, so I'm hoping that we have a lot of people that want to learn a lot of new skills today. Today we're going to be covering the basics of knife juggling. Wait, no, not knife juggling, ball juggling. So, you need something to juggle. I don't know if you already have juggling balls or not, but you don't need juggling balls. You could use a hacky sack, a bean bag, anything round, perhaps a lime. Do you have a lime? Or an orange? Or worst case scenario, go and get a ball of socks and ball that up, and now you have something to juggle. So, do you have your object? I hope that you do. If not, go around and get one super quick. I'm monitoring the comments as well on here, so let me know if audio sounds good, if you can see me, things of that nature. All right, juggling 101. We're going to start with just one ball. So, start with one ball, and we're just going to do a simple toss from one hand to the other. It's very easy. It's the adult version of playing catch with yourself. One ball, one hand to the other hand. One hand to the other hand. So the ball, as I'm tossing it, is going to be around eye level, ideally. If you're tossing it way up high, you have to move your head, and it creates a bigger dynamic. It's harder to catch it. So, as you're tossing, try to have it eye level from one hand to the other hand. You want your arms nice and relaxed down near your hips. You don't want to be up here with your shoulders shrugged. That's uncomfortable and awkward looking. So, hands are relaxed, and you're just playing catch. One hand to the other hand. One hand to the other hand, creating a rainbow or an arc. So notice my hands down my hips. As I catch, I dip my hand a little bit, and this is just going to get you in a good habit of when we move on to 2 balls and 3 balls and 4 balls and things like that. You don't catch and grab and toss again. You're dipping your hand ever so slightly. There's also a part that you're creating this arc down here near your hip. Notice I'm kind of coming down and then back up. That's allowing me to more easily toss the ball. All right, so I'm assuming this all looks good to you guys and you've got this down. So we're going to introduce the second ball. If you don't have a second ball, quick, go grab another orange or a lime or a sock. So now we got one ball in each hand. So, as you're tossing, a lot of people like to do something like this. They'll toss one ball and pass the other one to the other hand. This is not juggling. This is what we like to call cheater juggling. It's easy. You're tossing and grabbing. So, don't do that. I bet a lot of you are going to try it. That's not juggling. So we're going to toss one ball, and before it gets to the other side, you're tossing the other. So, toss, toss, catch, catch. Toss, toss, catch, catch. These balls are creating an X in front of your head, or both arcing one over the other. Toss, toss, catch, catch. It does not matter which hand you start with, whether you're left or you're right, because you're going to be learning to toss both equally. If you are left-handed, try tossing with your left first. That seems to be easier for most people. If you're right-handed, try tossing with your right. Toss, toss, catch, catch. The timing is important here. You don't want to overthink it at this point in juggling, but when you toss the other ball, you are waiting until the first one is just about at its apex in its arc and starts to fall. So right now. Toss, toss, catch, catch. Toss, toss, catch, catch. I find that saying that to myself makes juggling a little bit easier because then I know when I'm supposed to toss. You could count in numbers. You go 1, 2, 1, 2, Whatever works for you, but I definitely find a verbal cue is a little bit helpful as you are learning this. If you have perfectly round objects, chances are that you're going to drop it and it's going to roll away, which happens a lot. So, as you are practicing this at home, after this tutorial, if you have any questions, please comment down there and I will ask them or answer their questions. But as you're practicing this, after this tutorial today, you can sit down on the ground and try that, because then when the balls land, they're landing in your lap and they're not going to roll off across the room like that one just did for me. Another tip is to stand against a wall of some sort. If you're juggling and standing against a wall, the balls are not going to travel away from you because there's a wall right in front of you. All right, going back to the basic juggle. You've got one in each hand, toss, toss, catch, catch. Toss, toss, catch, catch. Toss, toss, catch, catch. Again, they're about eye level. If you're tossing really high, you have a lot more time before you have to catch it, but then you're creating head movement in there as well, and it's just going to make it a little more challenging. Eye level is what we're going for. So that's your basic crossover juggle. What's going to happen is each time you're doing this, you're either going to be leading with your right hand or your left hand. And what you want to do is balance these two hands out. It's kind of like connecting the right and left parts of your brain. So let's say we're starting with the yellow ball, the ball in my right hand. As I toss that, now when I start again, I'm going to start with my left hand, again the yellow ball. What this is doing is training both sides of your brain, both hands, to operate equally. I don't know if any of you are hula hoopers or poi spinners, but hooping, it's like your first current and your second current, learning how to do both of those equally well. So again, toss with your right hand, and then when you start again, toss with the left hand. And if you watch the colors of the balls, the purple one is always going to be kind of going over the top. Toss, toss, catch, catch. Toss, toss, catch, catch. Toss, toss, catch, catch. And if there's 3 and 4 and 5 ball jugglers watching right now, I'm sorry, but this is geared towards the absolute beginners, because I want to get more people into circus arts because it's so much fun. It's such a great break from your day. So this is cross juggling, the beginning to a cascade. Another way to juggle is in columns, which is pretty much just up and down. Each hand or ball is staying in the same column. Very easy. I guess easy once you've been doing it for, I don't know, 25 years or so. So let's try this, column juggling. One ball in one hand, up and down, up and down. My eyes are following the ball from my hand, back to my hand. From my hand, back to my hand. I'm not looking over there, because then I'm going to drop the ball. But eventually you'll all get to that point and then you can juggle with your eyes closed. And that's a fun skill to learn. Column juggling, one ball, one hand. All right, we're going to try something else. And I tend to move fast as I teach lessons, especially teaching live to the world. That's a brand new thing for me. I am only about, I don't know, 10 minutes into it, 15. So, 2 balls, one hand. You're going to keep these in columns, column A and column B, and you're going to attempt to move your hand back and forth underneath each ball. Yes, this is a more advanced 2-ball juggling skill, but give it a try. 2 balls, one hand. You're going to start with your arm down near your hip. You're going to give a toss, and then the other one. As soon as ball 1 starts to fall, as soon as it reaches its apex, that's when you toss the second one. They're going up and down. Your hand is moving below the balls. As you're doing this, try to remain relaxed, breathe deep, This becomes fun and meditative, not something that you're struggling with. If you're brand new, you're probably dropping balls all over the place, and that is great because it means you're trying something new, you're learning, you're developing brain cells, and I hope you're having fun. I'm going to switch to my left hand now. Same idea. Column juggling, one ball in each column, the hand moving back and forth between the balls. Again, the higher you toss, the more time you have to catch. But depending on your ceiling height, you might hit the ceiling. So that is column juggling. Our other type of juggling is going to be going in a circular pattern, again with one hand. You're going to toss one. As the first one starts to fall, you toss the other. And if you remember earlier when I told you your hand is kind of down here near your hip doing a scooping type motion, it's going to be the same process applied here with two balls. As you're catching, you're scooping and tossing, scooping and tossing. It looks something like this. So now the balls are going, the way I'm looking at it, they're going clockwise. For you, they're probably going counterclockwise. And if you look at my hand down near my waist or my hip, it's just creating this circular motion, which is where the term circular juggling comes from. Don't quote me on that. It might not be where it comes from at all. That's just my guess. With this circular juggling, you can go counterclockwise, you can go clockwise, you can switch between the two. There's so many different things to do with that. All right, we got a couple more minutes left here. Each of these classes is going to be about 15 minutes, if not a little bit longer. So I'm going to do a quick review, going back to two balls and that arc. One ball over the top of the other. As you catch, your hands are dipping down near your sides. And I'm alternating which hand tosses first, either my left hand or my right hand. This is training in good habits for you as we move on to three balls in the subsequent weeks. The other thing we worked on was column juggling. Super basic, one ball in each hand, coming down to that same hand. Two balls, one column, one hand. Two balls, circular juggling, one hand. If you notice as I'm juggling, my body starts to turn slightly. That's because I'm not an expert juggler, and it's one of those habits I have to train out of myself. Sometimes I'll start to turn around and I got to get myself back the other way by juggling the other way. It's pretty interesting stuff. Here's just something fun to do depending on the type of ball that you're using right now. If you have a bean bag or a hacky sack, playing with tossing the ball and then catching on the back of your hand. If any of you are going to be joining for our contact juggling lessons, learning how to do something like this and cradle the ball on the back of your hand is going to be a really important skill to learn. Always alternating between your right and your left hand. I would highly suggest, if you're going to continue this 30-day challenge, to go and brush your teeth tonight using your opposite hand. If you're going out to sushi, use your opposite hand with your chopsticks. It will build brain cells and make you more ambidextrous and make all of these circus skills come a lot quicker and easier. This video is going to stay up on Facebook, so you can go back and refer to it. We're also going to upload it to YouTube so you can go back and learn, practice the skills before our next juggling lesson. If you want some juggling balls, we've got a couple varieties on our website. I have a huge basket of these things. They're called try-its. We use them in our kids circus camps here in Bend, and I've got tons of them, as you can see. If any of you guys want one of these, they're great to learn with. They're not going to roll away when you drop them. They're going to stay put. Put your email down in the comments, and I'll sell them for $2.50 a piece or so. They're super cheap, great to learn to juggle with. If any have any questions, put it in there in the comments, and we'll respond back to them. And that's Brandon signing off. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We're teaching object balancing. For those of you who don't know what that is, object balancing is exactly what it sounds like, balancing an object. And again, there's a ton of things in your house that are going to work perfect for that. You don't need to go out and buy anything, and we're going to teach you some skills with that. Have a great day. Enjoy your night. Ciao.